Happy New Year. This is the first time I've gone live in the new year, so there's that. Our very first group coaching is today for HBR people that started yesterday. So I'm just saying, it's a good day. These 12 weeks are going to be, you're going to see. Watch the people that are in the group. Well, you're not going to not be able to watch the people in the group. You're going to see them everywhere, and it's going to be awesome. And you're going to be like, man, I wish I did that. The next one starts in May. So if you want to do that, just make sure that you jump in. We can actually entertain some payment plans that we can't usually entertain because it's all the way out until May. Okay. So like if before you were like, oh, I can't get in yet, send us a message again because now we can entertain some payment plans. It just has to be fully paid off by the time you start. Okay, let's go. So, we're talking about some home-based business, like debunking. We're doing some debunking today, right? So we're going to say some stuff is true, some things are not true. Today, what we're talking about specifically is, it's just a side hustle. It's just a little side hustle. It's just a little thing. Whenever people think about home business, they think, okay, well, I feel like people think the business can only be as big as the home is. I think that's kind of what they're like, well, if you work from your living room, there's no way you can be that successful. That's just crazy untrue. It's crazy untrue. I have a podcast starting up. We're actually just starting to book people today into the podcast, and things that we'll be talking about are different strategies that are working for people, but then also different ways that people are running their businesses, right? Like, so what they're doing from home, because not every home business looks the same. And I just want you guys to see like behind the curtain on what's actually happening in people's houses, right? So there's one guy that I know that he runs, it's a multiple 7-figure a year business, and he doesn't even have a team, right? It's literally just him working out of his house, literally, right? So whenever people say or think, and they look at home-based business and they're like, well, that's cute. But I think a lot of people probably run into the question in their mind anyway of like, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? What I mean by that is the work that you're going to put into starting a business from home worth it in the end, because it can only cap out at a certain amount. We do very, very well, and we just work from our house, right? Or wherever we are. You know, we went to Utah for 11 days in September, and I worked from there. You know, that's it. Just because it's a home-based business, this is the debunking of the myth, right? Just because it's a home-based business does not mean that it's small. And I think the coolest thing about it is that when we run, and I've gotten a lot of messages just this past week alone, probably because HBR is starting up again and everybody's like, oh, this is what's happened, this is what's happened, this is what's happened, this is what's happened, like people that have been in HBR for a while. And they're like, oh my gosh, you know, did you know that we did this? Did you know that we did this? And what I'm like remembering to point out to people is like, the reason that we're doing all of this, I mean, it's awesome, don't get me wrong, to be able to make income from home. Awesome, right? We call the shots, right? So we no longer sit in the carpeted cubicle, if you're me, right? We no longer sit in the carpeted cubicle and wait for the clock to ding. And I'm thinking Flintstones here, right? Whenever he's at work and it goes, like the little bird hits the thing. But that's all of us. Whenever we're at like a job, we're just kind of like waiting for that time when we can go home. I mean, most of us, I think a lot of us are like me, right? Even though I loved my job, right? I still was like, dang it, I just want to go home. I just want to, and not go home and be lazy, but I wanted to go home and hang out with my family. I wanted to go home and do something else, you know? And so for all the people that are still experiencing that, I want you to know that when you think of home-based business, don't think it's just a side hustle, because that won't give you what you need to truly jump in confidently and say, I can do this thing. It's going to reap a reward that is worth it, right? Because if you just think, oh, it's just a side hustle, or I'll just go ahead and try this thing or whatever, that's not enough. It's not going to be enough to be able to get you through what you're doing. What you need to look at it as is you need to be able to say, okay, this is awesome. I'm about to crush it. I'm working with somebody who not only knows what she's talking about, but she stays on top of it, right? So if you're working with me, you're working with someone who not only has created the entire strategy, right? But I recreate it and I recreate it and I add to it and I let it evolve as it's supposed to evolve, instead of setting up the strategy and saying, bye guys, hope it works for you still, because strategies are a universal thing that will work forever and ever, amen. That's the thing. But tactics are the things that have to change. Those are the way in which you implement the strategy in our lives right now actually has gotten easier and easier and easier, which is very, very cool. But you need to be able to have a mentor that is there with you in the trenches saying, hey, listen, I know exactly what you need to do. Here is precisely it. Like in HBR, in the student group, I had them, let me know if this is you, right? I had them pinky promise me in a post, I had them pinky promise me that they would not try to jump ahead on things. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually just, it's called dripping. It sounds a little gross, but it's called dripping out content. And so I'm dripping out every week new modules, and we only focus on those modules. I pinky promised. That's what somebody said here. I'm going to go ahead and put it up. Exactly. I drip out modules because I'm like, this is all we're focusing on this week. Do not move forward. Do not think about anything else. You guys, I know where your mind goes. I have ADD. I know where your mind may not even go, but could potentially go, and I'm going to keep you from that too, right? I have like the mind that goes splinters off into many different things at once. And so I know if I can keep my mind focused on this, then I can keep your mind focused on this. And the only thing that would potentially even get in your way of really doing this thing is if you splinter off and try to do many things at once. And so what I'm doing is week one, I'm like, here, we're only doing this. I'm not talking about anything else. We're not doing anything else. If you ask me questions about anything else, I'm going to be like, nope, not the time, right? That's how it is. And then the next week, same deal. Next week, same deal. So as we go through, you're actually accomplishing the things you're setting out to accomplish every single week, which means that by the end of week 12, you've got 7 income streams set up, ready to make money, probably already making money, right? But if you don't do anything, nothing happens. So that's the truth. I am going to say that if you just watch the videos and you don't actually do anything, nothing's going to happen. But is that weird? No. But I'm making it as easy as possible for you to do the things. You know what else I'm doing? I actually even tell you who your person is. I give you a 50-page custom report on exactly who your person is, a year of content for that person, what they're looking for, what they've tried before, their psychology, what is going on in their mind, so you can be able to speak to it, right? And then we can use that to then, that paired with some AI prompts that I give you is just gonna blow the whole thing out of the water. But like that happens around week 4-ish. But anyway, it's crazy good. The main goal of this video, I went off sides. I'm sorry, guys. I'm excited. The myth is that home-based businesses are just like cute little side hustle things. That's like a cute thing that she's doing. No, this can be everything. It can be, somebody asked me last night, because they know that Mike is home also, my husband. And they were like, well, what does Mike do? He's in our business, right? It's a family business. Nora, my daughter, will create content for the business, right? It's a family thing, which then splinters off into family things as well. This is a legacy play, guys. This isn't a cute little thing that gets you an extra $50 a month. This is a legacy play, and it's very, very real. It used to be very complicated, but these days, I have been able to make it super simple based on the tools that we now have available to us that we didn't have available to us before. Right now is the time to strike. Right now is the time to do this. This is where you pull ahead of everyone else. This is it. I absolutely love that we are going week by week and not all at once. My squirrel brain can't handle it all at once. Exactly. Cannot wait for my customer report. Yay! AI scares me and I don't even know why. It's because there's a lot of people out there trying to scare you with AI. That's why it scares you, because it's the narrative that's being spun up. So AI is a tool. It's a tool like anything else is a tool, like the internet is a tool, right? You can use it for good and you can use it for negative, right? That's what, it's a tool. So we have been called, I'm just going to say, we have been called to use the tools that we have available to us to actually further the kingdom, okay? So we can't sit and be scared of tools. We have to be okay to embrace and to use these tools in the way that we're designed to. You know what I'm saying? All right, adios, you guys.